as I unplait the braids, I'll tell you. Castor oil. I use castor oil. I like using castor oil. I have no problem using castor oil because as a kid, I used to make castor oil in Dominica. We call castor oil Gwen. My mom used to say, Pie Gwen la, ni Gwen ki ches. Ale amase because nou kale fe l'huile Gwen. That means the castor oil seed has dry castor oil pods. Go pick them up so we can make castor oil. We used to pick it, almost like a prickly thing, but it's not that prickly. It just looks like it. And it starts green, like most, I would call it fruit, because that's the fruit of the tree, not something to eat, but the fruit of the tree. And then it would, as time goes by, it would dry, and then as it started drying, it would open up. It had little things, and it would open up. Sometimes it opened up so much that it falls under the tree, so we used to try to prevent that. So once we start seeing it's ready to be picked, we would pick it, and my mom would open a sheet or piece of cloth, or even one of those brown sugar bags, and we would put it to dry. After it's dry, you have to shell it, because sometimes you have to open up the shell to get it out. Sometimes the shell open up while it's on the tree, but if we pick it before that, we have to open up the shell. And then when you open it up, you take out what you need, which is the seed on the inside, and you throw the shell. Once we shell all the castor oil, we roast them. We roast the seeds. And after the seed, you don't want to roast them too much. There's a method. If you roast it too little, you won't get enough oil out. If you roast it too much, you can burn it, and the oil will be burnt when you press the seeds. So, you have to judge it and kind of have it just right, medium. And then you do that, and you put it in this big pot, and you have this big ladle, and you turn it around, over and over, like you want to make sure it's not burning. When you think it's right, you take it out, you let it cool. It has to cool before you put it in the press machine. And you put it there, and sometimes we didn't have enough, so we'd wait until we pick another set that was ready. And when we have enough, that's when we make the oil. We just didn't make oil with 6 grains, we'd collect and keep it there until we had enough. And then when that is all said and done, it was all handmade. We had this machine, and it had this big mouth like this. It had a handle, and my mom would take it and hook it to the table, and then we pour the roasted seeds in there, and you put a bucket underneath, and you grind. As you grind, it rolls the seeds, and it presses the oil, and it falls in the bucket. And that's how I used to make oil, because my mom used to make it, and I love watching her make it, so she would let me make castor oil. So I've made castor oil. I have used castor oil. And when people know you make castor oil back in the day, they usually come and buy castor oil from you. So my mom would always make me take out what we think we will need for the year, because you can't keep castor oil forever. It will get rancid, and it smells bad when it's rancid. So use your castor oil if you have it. Well, now most of the ones you buy now, they are not, they have a lot of ingredients in them to prevent them from going bad. But back then when I made castor oil, You have to use it before it gets rancid. So about 6 months to a year after that, you will definitely start smelling the difference. So I would do that, and then so I would make sure I have what I think I need for us to use, because my mom had 4 girls and 2 boys, so we want to have enough for our hair because we wash our hair on Saturdays and grease it. So sometimes it was Vaseline, but most of the time it was castor oil because we made our own castor oil. So I'd make sure I put 2 nice bottles away, and then the rest, whatever was left, I would sell to the neighbors who wanted. And we use castor oil for our lotion. We lotion our foot. We lotion our feet with the castor oil. And if somebody was constipated, my mom would give one of us, whoever it was constipated, a teaspoon of castor oil. Don't go far when you take that castor oil, because that castor oil is going to work. I am not a doctor. I am not a physician. I am not telling you to do these things. I am just telling you my experience on what castor oil and what I did with castor oil and how I made my castor oil. Please pay attention to what your body needs and what is good for you. So my mom would give any one of us a teaspoon if we were constipated, and you stay close by because you're going to need that bathroom. You're going to need that outhouse toilet. So you stay close. We use it all over on our skin, and fresh made castor oil smells very strong. So people know you use castor oil. It don't last all day, but if you just put it and you go by someone's house, they know you just use castor oil. We put it in our hair, scalp and hair. Dry cracked feet, if your feet was dry and cracked, you would use castor oil, especially at night when you take your bath and you're ready to lay down. You put castor oil all around that cracked, dry heels, and that will take care of that. You can put castor oil on your face, and it is good for your skin, but please don't put it close to your eyes or on your eyes. It will burn. It will burn. I've learned that the hard way in Dominica as a kid. So I know not to put castor oil nowhere close or on my eyes because it will burn. Don't put it around here too close. Don't put it too close here, and don't put it over here. Castor oil you can put all around your face. Stay away from your eyes. It burns. I have had that experience. Yeah, but I made castor oil back in my day. And again, we call the castor oil tree Gwen, Pie Gwen. Castor oil is called Gwen. The castor oil tree is called Pie Gwen in Dominica. I don't know if they still make castor oil in Dominica. I'm just telling you about how I made castor oil back when I was growing up in Dominica. So I made a lot of stuff. I know how to make a lot of stuff. I learned from the best. She is no longer here, but she taught. And I was always inquisitive, so I always wanted to learn what was going on, what it is, and stuff like that. So I was always there, and she taught me. If I asked, she taught me. Yep. And sometimes she'll call and say, "Come here, come watch me do this." So yes, I know how to make castor oil. I have made, not this castor oil, but I've made castor oil. Pure and real castor oil.